Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things Mecha. Jumpship incoming.
All right. Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, episode 85. I'm your host, Chopper. Joined. Oh, there we go.
He jumped in fast.
He just likes to get to that jump shot. He doesn't even wait for cues. He's just gonna get to it. And then we got Rob over there,
Fixing my hair.
Fixing his hair. Here we are, just recording the next episode.
July.
I don't know, July. Yeah, here we are in July. Already July. My God, it's gonna be the 4th before you know it. I mean, there's already enough fireworks going off, so.
Yeah.
Hey, are fireworks illegal in Michigan?
Nope.
You can go to the corner store like in Indiana and Wisconsin and just buy a Diet Dr. Pepper and a pack of M60s.
Yeah, I think so. We saw some in Target the other day.
Right.
We're kind of debating if we wanted to get some ourselves. And then actually, like 2 nights ago, there's a little parking lot near our house, and someone was setting off some fireworks at like 10:30 at night, just as we put down the little girl. So it's just like, are you kidding?
All right. Well then, explosion set aside. Let's move on into the dropship then.
Sounds good.
Dropship landing.
All right, here we are at the dropship, what we're working on. But before we get to that, the dropship is brought to you by John Bear Ross. He is back to doing his Patreon. Now being a patron gets you a monthly 50% discount code on My Mini Factory, Cults, and CG Trader for just $1.99 a month. All his projects are available on My Mini Factory. Just search for John Bear Ross, and the link will be in the show notes. We thank JBR for being a loyal sponsor and a friend of the show.
Yep, and what he's doing right now is re-releasing a lot of stuff from the old Kickstarters, including the old Colonial Viper suit, which is a mid-sized mech, I'd say. But all these are real affordable now. You can just get them up on any of this stuff. So you just go there.
I didn't see that. I need to see what that looks like.
I'm pretty sure I backed this one. I'm trying to look on my shelf if I have one. If I did, I printed it somewhere, but I don't see it. But I'm pretty sure I backed this one. But it's a cool little, just standard mech. Kind of reminds me of the from Avatar or any of those kind of Starship Troopers, mid-size kind of mech.
So, well, since you're chatting about it, I know you probably have been working on a lot of things. You've been very busy lately. But have you been working on anything?
I have not been working on anything. So I can easily just say I have not had time to work on anything.
Then we know this. So, all right then. This could be a quick dropship then. Brian, what do you got going on?
Yeah, not much in the pure mecha realm, but I have been working on my printer's been doing all sorts of terrain, and I'm realizing I was trying to remember. I forgot to ask you guys, did I talk about my new printer last time?
I think so. Yeah.
I think you did. Yeah. We did, because we talked about self-leveling, and it was that's right. FTM and everything.
And so been printing a bunch of stuff off that. But I did, on the painting side of things, I did like kind of finally get my Halo Flashpoint Elites painted up. So it's only 4 models, which is like a perfect number for me. But it kind of let me take a little bit more time with them. So that was kind of nice. And then I also painted up a whole bunch of like the extra little tokens, the plastic tokens you can get in one of the sets, so that I have like nice painted accessories for the battlefield. It's always that thing that's kind of like sometimes I forget about, painting up the like objective tokens and stuff like that. But they really, like, when they are painted up, it really kind of brings an extra level of
I agree.
To the board.
Especially for your demos and stuff to show them off. Like it really pops. Yeah.
So that was nice. Like I did how I kind of did it was I did a midnight blue kind of satin primer, because I heard that satin finish takes speed paints a little bit better than like a matte one. So I figured I'd try that out, and then did like a white dry brush on them, and I did a red, a blue, a purple, and a yellow, kind of a gold. And then so those are pretty much all speed paints on top of them. And really happy with how it turned out. The So I'm probably gonna keep doing that. I have a whole bunch of Spartans primed up and ready to go, but I might got so many of them now with some of the sets that I've gotten that I'm like, maybe I'll switch to a different project.
Just getting sick of painting Spartans.
Well, the and Dead Zone, the podcast side of things, where I'm also a host, the kind of put it out there to the community to vote on like what my next painting project would be for a Dead Zone faction, and they went with Veerman, the giant space rat.
That's good. At least it's different.
It is different.
At least it's Dead Zone, not Warpath. You'd be picking a ton of figures then.
Yeah. So, looking forward to that project. I've kind of over the winter, I painted up a board game out from Mythic. They did like this little mini game that had Veerman in it, and it was part of their Advent calendar series. And so I finally landed on like a paint scheme that I had in mind for Veerman. So I'm excited to actually like motivate myself and get to painting that. And then though I was disappointed, one of the other options I had on there was Marauders, and it was in part because I paint my Marauders up to be Xeon. Yeah. Which would have been really fun to have in here and talk about, but it was going to be fun because I was going to do a combo of like the green fatigues that they have in the Xeon uniforms, the classic ones, and then I was going to just double checking if my camera locked up.
Your camera locked up, but we can hear you. It'll catch up eventually.
Gotcha. If my computer screen now resets everything. There we go. Sorry about that. And but then there's also like in 08th MS team, there's like these gray fatigues that they wear as well. And I was thinking that could be a fun like scheme to get some Marauders painted up. I have a whole bunch, so but Veerman it is for now, and we'll kind of see how that goes. And,
do you have a scheme for them?
For the Veerman?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not not one that's themed off of anything in particular, but it was kind of a kind of purple black with like yellow splashes of color. So I think that'll be fun, and probably going to play around with like where the purple or like, so it'll be kind of a black, a primary color that's like a specific like hue, and then that splash of yellow to throw in the mix. So cool. Yeah, I'm excited. They'll be different, something really different for me.
Excited to see them.
Yeah. So,
but
all right.
Yep, that's all I've had on my plate. How about you, Rob? Or Pat? Pat.
Rob didn't do anything.
Yeah. Stop trying to force me to pretend to do something.
So I've been painting quite a bit, since I'm still hobbled. I got my paint station up here upstairs in the living room, a mini thing. So I've been working on quite a few things. I finished up my I posted on the Mobile Armor page. I finished up my Geogenesis model that we got at Dipticon. I painted that thing up. Used a lot of things. I used my weathering pencils to chip the edges of the paint so it looks like it's been thing, I painted some scratches. So I really am digging those weathering pencils for doing the edges on robots and vehicles to show paint chips and stuff. As far as anything,
I like how you did the knife too, where you had the like a blue anodized, but then you had the yellow stripes on it. That's cool.
Yeah, I actually used the Monument Transparency paint. I painted the knife up silverish. You know, I highlighted up the silvers, layered them up, and then I put the blue transparent on the blade, and then I used the yellow transparent on that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's something that you don't really see usually. Colored blades. It's like, oh yeah, it's neat.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, I was trying to go for, I was gonna do kind of like an energy looking thing, but that was more effort than I wanted to put into it. So I thought, oh, you know what, transparency would be really nice.
Yeah, I think this is more unique. Everybody does kind of energy stuff now.
Yeah,
it's kind of looks kind of cool.
So I finished that one up. What else did I do that's kind of mechish?
Epic.
Yeah, I've rolled back into 1989 and started painting up Space Marine Epic, not the latest version, but the older 6mm. So we're talking tiny figures, not the 15 that's out now, or 10. What is Epic Space Marine? I think it's 15. No, it's 15.
Wow.
Yeah, the version of Epic that I'm painting is 6mm.
Jeez.
Wow.
So they are tiny.
I never noticed. I'm showing the what is it? The Eldar Mech. Why? I didn't know they had dials on their bases.
Yeah, because they're shields. They have shields.
It's almost clicky tech before clicky tech.
Yeah, so I put together an Eldar Wraith, a Revenant. I think it's a Revenant Titan, and I painted up a bunch of. I'm working on right now a Space Marine force because it's fairly easy to do because it's not a ton of models.
And they all look like pinheads.
Yeah, and so it's super simple. These things are really. I mean, you can get more into it, but I didn't want to get that deep into it as far as painting. So it's a lot of base color, dry brush wash kind of a thing.
Well, you can see the size of these tanks compared to the base of the Neo Genesis model.
And those Land Raiders are fairly sizable.
Like, how tall is that Elder guy? Is he like 25mm, or is he even smaller?
That Eldar is about 3 inches tall.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Yeah,
because he's about the size of the Titan.
He's about the size of the Neo Genesis.
Oh, he's
just a hair smaller. Yeah.
He must be huge then in the game, right?
Oh yeah, these are giant like cities almost.
Yeah.
So I have and last night I didn't take a picture of it, but I started putting together an Orc Titan, which is called a Gargant.
Of course it is.
But it's old school, so it's all metal, so it needs to be put together in pieces because
oh boy,
super glue. It's super glue destined.
Yeah, it's scary. Gotta use some what's it called? The
Kickstarter.
Zip kicker. Yeah. Otherwise,
so far I haven't had to use
never stays.
It's actually been staying together pretty well. So far I haven't had to.
Really?
Yeah.
You must have good super glue because usually it's so heavy it never stays.
Yeah. So just put it together in pieces right now. Just working on the body. It's the Gargant is not as tall as that Eldar Wraith Lord, but I do have a Great Gargant or Mega Gargant, which is ginormous. But as far as Mech, I think that's all I've been working on. Just finished the Zeo. I think I'm going to bring up next time my wife goes down to the basement. I'm going to have her bring up I always forget the name of that game.
Endless Destiny.
Endless Destiny. I'm going to have her bring up that Mech and work on that. Maybe even bring up Megatron and finish him off too.
Yeah, the old big guy. What's your model you're working on? He's just too big, eh?
Oh yeah, there's just too much to bring all the way up. Too many sprues, so he's gonna have to wait till I can get downstairs. I can put some weight on my foot again. But totally be soon.
That's good.
That's good.
Get back to putting him together.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a conscious effort to just work on him only and not paint other things, because I think that's where I get distracted. I start painting other things, and then
you start on him, and then that's it.
Yeah, well, I airbrush some things for him. Then I work on some things to paint, and then I just keep working on those things that I'm painting because they dry faster.
Yeah.
And then I forget to go back to the the actual model.
Mm.
I actually want to roll through him real quick because when I retired from Mantic Run, it got me a perfect grade Gundam, and I forget which one it is.
Oh yeah.
You remember what one it was, Rob? You were there, right?
I don't remember what it was.
I remember you saying that you did, but I couldn't remember.
So I want to knock that one out too, because it's far and few between that you get the perfect grade. So, all right. Well, that's all I've worked on as far as the job producer. So let's move on into the ComStar.
Sounds good.
Woo.
Message from ComStar.
Welcome to the ComStar. Sorry, I got distracted. This is a segment where we talk about books, movies, and all these other things, and we got some news. Rob, what do we got?
If you're hurry, CavCom's happening on July 11th in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
We're gonna get there one of these days.
CavCom, and also your shirts are available on TeePublic. The link's in the show notes if you want to buy a shirt for the con. It's a cool
I got
one.
one from a long time ago.
Yeah, I do too. This one is kind of cool because it's one of the calves in front of a tornado, because I guess the con they're at is called Twister Con or Twisted Con, I think. So it's called a combination. It's kind of fun. So
it's actually a cool looking t-shirt.
Oh, actually, I should show a picture of it. I think I have a picture of it right here. You can see it.
There's
there
a bunch
it is.
of cool ones.
Twisted Lords Con. That's the.
There's a cav that looks like one of those books that you get for your car. What do they call them?
Oh yeah,
there's like a schematic one of a Starhawk down here. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, check out the t-shirts. They're available, and check out the con if you can go to Oklahoma City. And hopefully there is no twisters at the time.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Another thing is the Relic Knights guys came up with another spotlight. This time on something that pertains to us. It's a Python battle armor. So if you're interested in learning more about this Python battle armor, in the show notes you'll have the link. But it looks pretty cool. Relic Knights looks like they're really putting a lot into it, and it looks like it's going to be a fun anime game. So
yeah, the guys I think Issue Core too are really good guys. So if you're really in the Nerkin, you support those guys.
Yeah, Will's really into it. So yeah. So if you played the old Relic Knights, or if you want to get into it new, it's looks like it's going to have a big resurgence. So check it out.
Nice.
What else? Oh, Pat brought this one up. It's something called Mythic Mechs, a custom mech STL maker. Is on is it GameFound? Yes, GameFound. And it's looks like you can mix and match mechs in what was that other one that you can make STLs with? There's another app that does it, but this one looks like it's just for mechs, which is kind of fun. So if you want to make custom mechs, just you choose your torso, you choose your weapons, you choose your legs, and you can build what you want, which is kind of cool. I don't know it's one of those things where it's a neat idea. You just get this app, and I'm sure they could just keep adding new stuff to it all. So yeah. It's if you're interested, it's available on GameFound right now. Once again, in the show notes we'll have the link, and showing all the different options. So if you want to make fun mechs, maybe you have a generic mech game, and this would be perfect for it, because then you could WYSIWYG everything.
Oh yeah, you could use it for Endless Nights, or is it Endless Night, right?
No,
Endless Destiny. God, I'm never gonna remember that name. We played the game like 3 times, and I'm still not gonna remember that damn name.
Oh, so it's in preview right now, so it's not even out yet. So you have lots of time. So fun, and yeah, I think more of those STL makers will be happening, where they because there was one that really old. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's been around a long time, and it's more like for fantasy, but you can make fantasy
like Hero Forge.
Yeah, Hero Forge. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. So like that kind of stuff, I think is going to become more and more, and because as good as these the patrons and Patreon people make amazing mechs and amazing art all the time, that's a lot of work, and it's not specific to what you need necessarily. It's cool, but maybe you want something specific, especially for D&D characters or other role-playing game characters, or specific mechs for like specific games. Like that's where that niche for those apps kind of really works.
Yeah, especially if you're playing a custom, like Endless Destiny, which is a customizable mech.
there's tons of generic mech games. Like there's
Lancer
tons.
or
Yeah,
you know, all sorts of them.
I would like to see more anime kind of style mechs. It looked very much like Battletech and real mechs. Like it would be cool to get more options for more super robots.
A little more curvature, more
lanky,
what's the word
or
I'm looking for?
Escaflowne style.
Yeah, a little more graceful style of robot looking.
Yeah, or just different shapes. Because that was very that it's easy to do the generic boxy Battletech looking mechs, right?
Yeah, hard corners, hard lines.
Gundam in anime, that's a little harder. Mazer's not Gundam one, although we're just getting that Gundam game finally, so it's so far behind. Japan is so far behind in miniatures.
I think I posted some sprues on the thing that they had at UK Expo.
Yeah, they said they were snap together.
Yeah, those they better have some of those at Gen Con this year. I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if they don't. Like it's coming up. I don't know when it's actually released, but
that's on my top of the list. Like I'm gonna, since I get to go in early, I'm gonna
try to find it.
I'm gonna stand at that thing at 15 till.
Well, you got to get lots of video for us. A lot of video for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try out the game.
I wish I could make it. Yeah. But I think that's all the news. And as for ComStar, I haven't done anything either. I'm obviously still reading. I finished all the Battletech books, but now I'm reading all the Shrapnels, the magazine. So I'm going through those, all the short stories and stuff. It's fun. It's fun. Shrapnel's fun because it's short stories, like real short, so you can just explore weird spots in the universe. So it's just kind of fun. They're doing like Jihad stuff, or just Dark Age stuff that you never even touch on, and yeah, it's fun. So I've been enjoying that. Other than that, I haven't done anything. I think I watched a few more episodes of G-Quacks, but I haven't finished it. I think I have 2 episodes left. So I think the last one just came out.
Catch up on that.
That name is just terrible.
That's so horrible. I mean,
I think they did it on purpose, but
well, I think because that's the American translation. The G-Quarks is the American translation. I think it's different in Japanese.
Hopefully,
that's one of the things.
Well, I think it's still purposely like a weird thing, because what did they say? It's like the
they make
serial
fun of
number
it.
for
like, how do we even make fun of that?
Yeah, they're like, it's the serial number for the thing. It's just some random thing. But yeah, it's a fun show so far. I still got 2 more episodes, so I'll see how it lands. But what about you guys? Brian, what have you been watching or reading or doing anything?
Not as much right now. Didn't get a chance to really play more into Armored Core recently, but
that was on sale. That was on sale for super cheap recently. I almost bought it. It was like $15. I was like, oh
yeah, it's worth picking up if you like the Armored Core series. If you like kind of more of a faster paced mech style game with a whole lot of customization, like it's definitely worth checking out.
I do remember how much customization was there. Like I was intimidated, not intimidated, but I was overwhelmed at one point back when I forget. I think it was Armored Core 3. Armored 3 came out. 3's
probably likely, but I mean it's kind of been a staple of the Armored Core series to begin with, is like the stats on each piece and like managing the weight of your mech, and
I'm sure combos and stuff.
And yeah, and energy output and all that jazz, and it's still kind of hard to read. I won't lie. Like when you're like picking parts and stuff, you're like, okay.
That was back in the PlayStation days when I played that game.
Yeah. Is this actually a better engine for my mech right now? Yeah. Are these legs? Do they get me more than just health?
It doesn't just read it out for you, where it's like all of a sudden, it goes from red to green. Okay, I know this is better.
Yeah, there's like little like metrics and things that move based on what you're selecting. Is like, okay, it's saying that the weight is going better, but is that more or is that less? It's just, and there's the big numbers too, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, if it's still on sale, I know a handful of games were with like summer sales going on. It's totally worth picking up. And then I finished Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which was a fun time. But I won't lie, when I got through that the last movie section, I was just kind of reminded of all the things
how bad it was.
I didn't really enjoy about that movie. So I was just kind of like, all right, well, I'll get through it. And so like with that, I've also kind of had a hankering to replay Metal Gear Solid 3, and I have the Metal Gear Solid like collection on the Switch, and the Switch has kind of been my go-to console because it's so easy to pick up and play and put down as needed. Like a lot of times that's like, all right, something's going on. I need to pause and I need to walk away.
Yeah.
And maybe come back later or a day later or whatever. So makes some of those like longer form games a little trickier to get into and play. Like the Xeno Chronicles I've kind of lost steam on it. I'm probably gonna have to come back to that again later, because it's kind of a daunting game when you're playing it like in pieces.
Yeah,
and
you
like
can't get into the storyline because you're only playing 10 minutes at a time.
yeah, and I'm trying to think how long I've even played it so far. Like I'm into double digits of hours into the game, and I feel like I'm just like maybe a quarter of a way through, maybe a third of the way through. I don't even think I have a full cast of characters yet, so it's just like there's a lot of game left here.
Yeah, you forget how long old JRPGs were. Like they didn't mess around with time wise. They were just like, yeah, let's have hundreds of hours of gameplay.
They were more worried about the story than they were about the amount of
And
time.
we loved that back then, right?
now you're an adult and time is precious.
I'm an adult trying to juggle a whole bunch of different hobbies and stuff.
And child.
And a child.
And a wife.
And a wife.
Yeah.
So a little bit different dynamic than what it used to be, but not in a bad way. Just time management.
Yeah.
But there's that part of me that does kind of want to pick up Metal Gear Solid 3 again. I haven't played that since the PlayStation 2 days. And I absolutely love the Metal Gear franchise. So definitely seeing if I'm gonna how deep down the rabbit hole I'm gonna get on that one, or if I just kind of play it casually and then drop it when I'm have my fun. But other than that, I think the only other news thing is I think we have like later this year is when we're getting that second movie for Hathaway's Flash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a post about it.
Gotta watch the original again. I forget.
Yeah, I forgot totally what was going on in that series. I need to
sort of remember, but yeah, that's a long time ago.
It is kind of that weird thing where like it's just I think I was expecting it to be a much more frequent release schedule than it has
since
been.
That came out. Witch and Mercury came out, and G-Cox came out, so it's like, geez.
Yeah, two other, and the Seed Gundam Seed movie.
Oh, and the what's it called? The Requiem for Vengeance.
And Requiem for Vengeance, like there's been whole whole series have come out and gone since that project launched.
Yeah, so it's like I totally forgot about it, really.
Yeah,
it was good.
I could have sworn I shared the announcement, but I'm trying to track down on our Facebook where I had seen that. But oh well. But I have seen that. I'm pretty sure I saw that it was coming out later this year. Is actually when it's going to be landing. So excited to see that one continue. I mean, like that's kind of classic Gundam.
Yeah, it's back in the original. Feels more. Feels like it's connected more to the originals.
A bit of a political thriller, one where it's kind of the very, very kind of hard science fiction style, where
a lot of politics and
a lot of politics, a lot of attention to detail. Like, what's it like being on the ground when like beam rifle, ricochets start like melting buildings and stuff.
And terrorism attacks. Like there's a lot going on. Yeah. There's a lot going on in that show. I think that show was probably the most deep show that's been around for a while. The rest kind of like were fun. Like obviously Witch and Mercury it was crazy, but it was still fun. It wasn't really, And then G-Quux is just nuts. And then Requiem Vengeance was something that was just from the other side, so that was different. But I think Hathaway was much more kind of exploring the world more deep.
Yeah.
So excited for that to come out and pick up where it left off. I guess the last one was out in 2021.
Yeah, see, it's
holy smokes,
crazy.
Was that long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and I remember at the time I was talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, the next one should be out soon because it ends on a cliffhanger, kind of. You're like expecting a new one.
Yeah. And so late 2025 is probably when we're going to see the next installment of that one. So
I guess it's better to take your time and get it right. So
yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of all I've had on the plate.
All right, is it me?
Yep.
I have not done much in ComStar.
It's because you've done so much, so much of your hobby. We know your patterns, Pat.
But I have finished G-Quux.
Did you finish it?
I will say it.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but it does. It gets like I always thought this whole thing was weird to begin with.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit weirder at the end, and I won't say much, but. Yeah, it's hard for me to want to talk about this and not spoil it. So I'm not just going to say I finished it, and it was okay. It was a bit weird. It's pretty good. I mean, we all know it's an alternative timeline now. So it does resolve some things. Not resolve in the sense of why it's a different timeline, but it just...
explains where certain characters are and what happened to them. And
So...
does it have any live action segments to it?
No.
Because I've been seeing like in like a Twitter feed like some kind of like live action drama around like business people making Gunpla, and I'll have to track it down and
there
see
is
if I can find more details on that.
I've seen a Gunpla live action show, Japanese show, clips of it.
Yeah.
So there must be a Japanese show that's live action that they're building Gunpla and having
maybe it's a Gunpla version of Lego Masters.
Or I think it might be more like Build Fighters. Is that what the name of that game was?
Build Fighters is the name of the anime.
Yeah. Where I think it's a live action
corporate office drama or something like that. And it's like
maybe there's both sides.
You know, I could see that being a comedy.
Japan does weird things like that. Yeah.
I think it is kind of a lighthearted,
a satire of Gunpla. Yeah. Could be.
That would be funny.
Is it in Japanese or is it in English?
The clips I've been seeing I think are in Japanese.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably for some like variety show there that it's like
I wouldn't even be surprised if that show is even around before Build Fighters, and it's just now.
Yeah,
we're just now seeing it. There's a lot of dark corner Japanese that we don't get to see sometimes.
Because I know that they do that for Transformers. They have like funny cartoons and stuff that are just making fun of Transformers, kind of like making fun of the lore and having chibis making fun of stuff and how some things don't make sense, or there's multiple characters with the same name, so they make fun of them, and like that. It's a very Japanese thing to do. It's like a meta jokes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's just something happening over there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap up ComStar then, and let's move on to the MechBay Hanger and have our little discussion.
Sounds good.
Now entering the MechBay Hanger.
All right, welcome to the MechBay Hanger. It's our little roundtable discussion segment of the show. And so this month I was driving. I wasn't really driving. I was being chauffeured because I can't drive right now. And I was.
The story keeps changing every time he tells.
And I was listening to a song, and then it came to me like, well, this sounds like a movie soundtrack song. So then I was thinking, well, what if we take one of our favorite series or a series that we like and turned it into a movie, and what would our soundtrack of that movie sound like? So, Rob, do you want to start us off?
Sure. I chose just one band to do my whole soundtrack.
It could be. Flash Gordon was a one-band soundtrack.
Yeah.
Queen.
And Atticus Finch and Trent Reznor have been doing it for a while. But I chose Ministry because I was like, I want some industrial. I was going to do multiple bands, and I was like, I think Pat wants one band. But so I kind of talked myself out of it. But I was going definitely for an industrial feel to this. I chose for my movie. I was thinking. Something like Gundam Requiem for Vengeance, where it's dark and it's kind of a duel between two mecha pilots. So there's some horror almost to it. Like that's what I loved about that Requiem Vengeance. It was a horror movie. Like the Gundam is the fucking Godzilla. Like it's so I wanted to feel like that, but maybe with an antagonist that could actually step up a bit. For my title track, I chose the song "Hero." I thought that was an appropriate song to start it off, thinking, oh, this is gonna be a positive. You're gonna hero. You're gonna fight the good fight. Yeah. So then for my sad track, the song "Angel," it drops it down a bit. It's still a very industrial song, but it's kind of a more like a little depressive. Then for my battle track, I chose "Bad Blood" because that's a great song for two people like who have bad blood and have a good fight. It's got a driving soundtrack, and I thought that would be good for battles. Ministry recently came out with a new album called the Squirrely versions of their, because they came out when Ministry first came out. They kind of came out like a Depeche Mode almost synth pop band that they kind of the record execs kind of forced him into it. So he hated that first album forever. So, Al Jorgensen. So he kind of disowned it. But then recently, he in his old age, he's come around. So he re-recorded all the versions and called them the Squirrely versions. So there's a love song that he did called "I'll Do Anything for Love" or "I'll Do Anything for You," and he did a more industrial version of it. That it's a love song of sorts, but it's still Ministry. And then for the outro, I thought it would not be a happy ending, so I'm gonna choose to go with a not something that really it's a driving song, but it's a burning inside, where it's not in the end you're just left an empty shell of whoever wins. It's you didn't win. You're just a burned out shell. So that's why I went for a nice dark Gundam movie. So that was my my soundtrack.
All right. What about you, Brian? What did you come up with?
Yeah. So I feel like I kind of misread the assignment initially, but
someone's got to.
When I was going through my kind of preparing notes and stuff for the section, I still had it in my list from the last time we did like a fan casting project. I did StarCraft, and I was like, oh, that would be kind of a fun one. So I went with StarCraft, essentially kind of with a movie version encompassing the scope of the first game's story. So like the defeating of the Overmind. Okay. And let me just tell you, like this thing, you could do 3 movies, or you could do 3 trilogies, so it's like 9 movies, or you could do them as like a trilogy where it's each like the original, then Brood War, and then 2.
There's a lot of StarCraft.
There's a lot of StarCraft and a lot of story covered in StarCraft.
It is. I mean, that's not there's not a lack of.
Plus, there's
content.
books. There's books. There's everything. StarCraft's
a
huge franchise.
It's one of those. It's kind of surprising how dense the lore actually is. Kind of like Halo. Like people on the outside might just see kind of the gamer bro version of Halo, where it's just like, everyone got into it, was super popular, but like the lore underneath the hood, the story of Halo is really fascinating and full of content. All that to say, for StarCraft, one of the fun things about it, which originally kind of popped up in my head, was in lore, the humans that represent the Terran faction are like, if I recall this correctly, like they were prisoners that descendants of prisoners shipped out into space, and they had crashed in this like particular sector of space. So it's kind of like Trigun like that. It's kind of like
Australia.
Kind of like Australia, just in general. And much like in Australia, there's giant monsters out there. Yeah. But it has like the thing that's really great and fun about StarCraft is it just has a completely different tone than a lot of other sci-fi series. It's so like southern and western, as much as it is like sci-fi, power suits, mecha, aliens, and all sorts of stuff. And so, in the first game, your characters are rebelling against the Confederacy, and they have the stars and bars and everything. Like, so they have a rich history already in place of like a Southern country folksy music kind of vibe to it. And,
yeah, it's such a contrast between the sci-fi and the country, right?
Absolutely, but it fits so well at the same time, and so I thought it would be like it's a perfect setting to have diegetic music playing all the time. Like these guys would, there are so many of them are just kind of these blue collars. Yeah. They just have like radios and stuff playing.
Let's get that Outer Frontier kind of vibe.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I thought we'd probably open up with some kind of dropship going around with Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. Because why not? We're flying around, we're seeing all sorts of crazy creatures and whatnot, and then as things like start happening, and conflict starts breaking out, I could see like a beer for my horses kind of song playing to get the troops rallied up and going out to fight. I did kind of really lean into the country theme, but it's also a perfect setting for like some classic rock. So like there's definitely some
new country and classic rock is they overlap a lot. Yeah, new country is just
new country
rock, really.
Is classic rock. They just went backwards.
It's very similar.
Some honorable mentions here, like "Shoot to Thrill" would definitely be playing from AC/DC when the first.
I was thinking AC/DC when I first thought about fighting scenes too. I was like, Thunderstruck, come on, like those kind of AC/DC is like mech battle songs.
so like I think there's so many like songs that'll just be like in the background you'd hear for like just a handful of seconds. Just
it'd be kind of cool, like as they go to like different fights, it's different, like people playing different music, so it's like different songs. That'd be kind of fun.
Yep. And they have bars and stuff. So I Love This Bar by Toby Keith is definitely going to be playing at some point in here, as well as 10 rounds of Jose Cuervo. But they're it is a series that does have some strong love elements to it. There's a lot of romance going on, and I thought I'd tap into another kind of classic blue collar-y kind of vibe. For anyone who ever seen the movie Con Air, we're going to steal their love song too of "How Do I Live Without You" by Trisha Yearwood. And
if you're going to steal from the best, right?
Yeah. Amazed by Lone Star was also right up there. I think that would be a really excellent one for that. I like a little romantic scene at the bars as things start moving closer and whatnot. But as things do, some stuff goes down, some characters get pulled away or taken out and whatnot. I thought "Don't Take the Girl" by Tim McGraw would be a really good one, but probably an instrumental one played a little softer would be a good one. The song, for those unfamiliar, there's it's a lot of bargaining going on by the singer of the song throughout different stages of his life. And then I was kind of torn. Like I have just like 5 or 6 runners up of other songs that I think would be in this somewhere. Cowboy Take Me Away by Dixie Chicks, Rings of Fire by Johnny Cash is definitely going to be played by a fire bat at some point here. Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner. And again, kind of tapping into the classic rock in an Armageddon-esque feel of Just Push Play by Aerosmith. But I thought one that kind of fit here as like we're not leaving off on the best note, right? Like at the end of the first StarCraft game, we defeated a big bad, but there's definitely challenges on the horizon, and evil still in the midst. So I thought let's end on a Garth Brooks song, like Standing Outside the Fire. It's a little upbeat, but one of the lines in it is of the refrain is like, let me see if I can get it right here. Is life is not triumph, it's merely survived if you're standing outside the fire. So I thought that's kind of fitting for a franchise. Really, so much of it is just these three different factions vying for survival out in this space where they all exist. So again, it's a little upbeat, but also a little like combative. But like I said, it is a perfect franchise to just have those needle drops wherever you want them to spice things up. If you were gonna have like for like more background orchestral songs, I would say, and now his name's escaping me, but the composer for Edge of Tomorrow, I think would be a really good composer. He did a great job of like military beats, kind of sci-fi stuff. And I'm gonna see if I can look him up real quick. It was Christoph Beck. So I think that would be a great kind of background vibe in between the actual like music beats itself. But yeah, StarCraft, it's a wild ride.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right. So, well, then for me, I was thinking that I would like to see a Battletech movie.
Just a Battletech.
Just a Battletech. I don't have a specific story.
Hey, Battletech movie.
There's
I'd
plenty
like to
to
say
choose
a
from.
Battletech.
There's plenty to choose from in the zeitgeist of Battletech.
Hundreds of years.
But I just generically chose Battletech, but I was thinking I would like to see it more of an anime style cartoon. Because
not like the classic anime. Not like classic animation.
So with that in mind, I was thinking of my soundtrack around that. So in my intro, because I wanted an anime style Battletech, I wanted to stick with more kind of anime style kind of music, in a sense. So for the intro, I took a Baby Metal song, and I would like the intro to be more of like their song Megatsuni. Is the intro in that style, not necessarily that song in a sense, but in that style of that song, which lends itself to be a real anime type song if you've never heard that song before.
Upbeat.
Yeah, and with the Baby Metal girl voices, it really just lends itself to that anime style singing. And then I was thinking for the death scene or sad track, I wanted to go a little more slower techno, and I went with a Kaigo song called Happy Now.
Kaigo?
Yeah, it's kind of a somber, kind of EDM techno kind of song. And then for the battle scene, this is what prompted me when I was listening in the car.
This is the song that made you
this
think
is the
of
song
this
that
whole
made me
thing?
think of this whole thing. And Bandmate has got a new song, and it's called Ready for Rock. And it just really lends itself to a robot battle scene going on, and it just kind of fell into place when that song came on in my head. And then the irony of this is that so the other day when I was compiling the rest of my songs, I was on YouTube just kind of listening to songs. And I found Bandmate had a video for it, and the video itself is an anime video.
It's AMV.
Playing, yeah. So I was like, oh, it was fated to be.
Yeah, it was. They already knew what they had.
Yeah. So that was the hand-to-hand battle robot fighting scene, and then the love interest scene. I picked a BTS song because they have a ton. And it's soft and loverly.
Loverly.
They'll be back soon.
Oh yeah, they're all done with their service now. And then for the outro,
this is the one that was like, this is off the wall.
yeah. Well, I wanted it to be like all kind of. It didn't need to be. I wanted it to be kind of anthemic as you're leaving out, and I think Electric Cowboy would do a great job of being anthemic with that, because you get because they call themselves a partycore style, and that would be a good way to end an anime movie, just upbeat and loud.
Yeah, it mixes the techno with the deathcore. So
yeah, and the example I chose as for the sound was Techno Train itself, and
it could lead into the sequel to be more deathcore, less.
yeah,
less,
it depends. I mean, because if we follow the standard trilogy style of movie, you have the hopeful end, the dark middle, and then the resurging or the heroic conclusion in the third set of series.
Yeah.
So Electric Cowboy leading into the dark section of the middle would be perfect.
Yep. There's a little darkness in their techno.
Yeah. Plus,
it's just a crazy idea to have all this Japanese and Korean pop for Battletech movie. The movie has to be about Kirita at that point, right?
Yeah, it's maybe, but again, I was trying to lend it into, because I want it to be an anime style cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Why not kind of lend it to the style that most of those anime cartoons in their soundtracks go? So that's kind of where I was picking as the music director of this movie. That was my vision.
It's a unique vision, I'll give you that.
Yeah. And that's why it's going to win a Grammy for Best Soundtrack.
An Oscar.
There you go.
So, all right. Anything else anyone wants to add?
Nope, I was definitely thinking, when I was thinking about doing separate stuff, I was thinking Massive Attack for like the sad or death songs. Like they have some real nice songs that could work. And I think it's the key was to find like a theme, and we all did that.
And there's nothing wrong with pick one band. Like I said, Queen did too. What they did, the Highlander and Flash Gordon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
Nine Inch Nails have done tons at this point.
Yeah. And then let's not even get started with Danny Elfman.
Yeah, Oingo Boingo.
Yeah. So
his soundtrack to Wanted is really underrated.
He did the soundtrack to Wanted?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did a lot.
Exactly.
The thing is, he takes, because he started with
Tim Burton, and
then he kind of branched out on and and Danny Elfman got a lot of smack, got a lot of static in the beginning because of his use of synths instead of actual instruments. This is back in the early '80s, late '90s, or early '90s, late '80s, when a lot of people when synths were just starting to really reach its peaks, and the horns were starting to sound really good, and strings were starting to sound really good on it. So he was getting a lot of static for that, and not using real horns or real strings. But then, as he got more and more soundtracks underneath his belt, he really
Who's laughing now?
Yeah, well, then he also branched out in movies you wouldn't think that Danny Elfman would write songs for.
Well, like I say, I never would have thought that.
Yeah, so every once in a while, I'll be watching a movie on like Prime or Netflix, and then they'll say music and score by Danny Elfman. I go, Danny Elfman wrote this score.
Totally different.
Like, oh my God.
It's no Willy Wonka or Nightmare Before Christmas
or Oingo Boingo sounding, in a sense. So he's come a long way as far as his soundtrack work.
Well, that's a good sign, because as much as John Williams is a classic, you can always tell a John Williams score. It's always the same.
Exactly. I mean, and the two most people that I see writing scores in the last maybe 20 years would probably be Danny Elfman and Trevor Rabin, which goes under his real name. Trevor Rabin is the guitar player for Yes. But he uses his real name when he's writing scores, which is Trevor something. I always forget what it is. All right. Well, that's it for the Mech Hanger. Then let's just hit.
If you guys have any scores you want to do, write them in the show in the Facebook page or the YouTubes. If you want to participate, then what the qualifications are: an outro or an intro, title track. Same thing. Battle song, sad track,
or sad track, a love theme track, and an outro.
Yeah. Tell us your movie. Tell us your all the different tracks.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what people have for their.
Yeah, it's always fun to see it.
Like
It's
definitely
a lot harder
Asian,
than it is.
I went Asian centric on mine, but I hit a couple. I went Axis powers on mine. German and Japanese.
Yeah, you had an electrical boy just for that.
All right, well, let's hit the ExFil and wrap this show up.
Kidoki.
Let's ExFil out of here.
All right, well, that wraps up this episode of Mobile Armor Radio. I hope everyone has a happy 4th.
And the first.
And the first one, I mean, you know, the holiday for this month is the 4th.
Not the first.
Don't
Hope
blow
everyone has an adequate first.
Don't blow anyone's fingers off or light your house on fire.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want those things to happen.
Good goals.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, Jesus.
We do not encourage insurance fraud here.
Yeah.
It's not insurance fraud when you actually blow your fingers off.
we don't encourage the insurance fraud. But sometimes accidents happen.
Well, I could say.
All right. Well, then, for Mobile Armor Radio, I've been your host, Chopper.
I'm Brian.
Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Tell us what we missed. Tell us there's the news. We didn't have too much news. Is there any news we've missed this month? Let us know. I'm Rob, I guess. I should mention that.
You remember the social media plug, but you almost forget your own name.
Okay, and well, that, ladies and gentlemen, bye-bye.
Bye.
Sayonara.
Or Japanese.
Turning Japanese. I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. I should have made that as one of my songs.
Yeah, if you get a sec, listen to that Bandmate song. It's really...
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter @MArmorRadio. Join us on the 1st of every month for more Mecha discussion.